All right. Today's topic, easily keeping your peace. Now, where does this come from? Why did I have this idea? Well, the idea of keeping your peace is to, you know, well, first of all, let's talk about the different context, right, of keeping your peace. Not, not everyone chooses to, right? Now, it sounds stupid. Like, why would you want your peace? Why do we want to keep your peace? You know what I mean? But think about it this way, right? Is it better to be at peace or to be correct? Is it better to be correct then or be at peace? Now, this is a debate topic that came up at the debate tournament that I went to. It's also a daily occurrence to my life. See, recently I had someone really close to me, and she went through an argument with her mother. Her mother is not a good person. Okay, just casual mom yelling at the kid, blaming the kid for her own entertainment, and just overall, just not a mothering mother. Right? Before you say bad things on my name, that is her stepmom, and she hasn't been momming as a stepmom. As for example, taking care of the kid, bringing in income, cleaning up the house, dishes, right? Not that she never does it. She just does it like once every 2 or 3 months. That, to me, personally, that sounds like incompetence, as her husband is a multimillionaire. The husband cooks. The husband cleans. The kids clean the entire house. And I guess she takes care of the dog. We all love dogs, but what we don't love is an abusive mother who abuses their kid physically, mentally, and verbally. Now, for legal reasons, I will not state who it is, but it's pretty obvious. But let's talk about it. See, when she was arguing with her mother, she recorded it and she sent it to me. Now, my first reaction was, why are you replying to her? She's not even your mom. Like, she's not related to you by blood. She's not even a good person in general. See, that's my first reaction. I could react like that, or I can make this little tiny podcast styled video, gameplay audio to play it to her. Maybe she'll actually listen to the whole thing. I doubt she will, but that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is, the ideology of being correct over keeping your peace. That's one thing I never got to understand. Why? Just why? All right, let's take for example, right? Well, if a snake bites you, do you chase after it and ask, like, grab his neck and ask, why did you bite me? If a person who is, if a fool, right, goes to you and the fool starts spewing out all this random stuff at you, would you care? Someone that you personally know that is stupid, a fool, would you care? No. See, it's a hard choice to make because, obviously you got to take into consideration what a fool says, because a fool that has no competence in thinking and isn't smart at all, you should definitely listen and take what they say to heart. That's definitely the right thing to do, right? No, it's not. Don't be silly, okay? Well, in this case, no. The fool's the mother. The mother start blaming the kid for what she did and saying, "Oh, it's your fault. This, that." Doesn't matter. She's a fool. Don't chase after a kid and ask why. Like, come on. Now, let's take for an example of an argument. All right, me and my dad had. No, let's take for example of me and my mom actually just 20 minutes earlier prior to this voice recording, this audio. Um, Me and her had an argument, right? And during that time, I'm already planning things in my head, and she just burst into my room. Here's the backstory. Here's the context, right? She put hundreds of dollars in a pocket of one of my hoodies because me and her, like, I have cool hoodies, and I sold the hoodie to my friend. And now she came in my room asking, "Oh, what happened to the hoodie? There's a lot of money in the hoodie." No, there is not. I checked the pockets and my friend checked the pockets. There's no money in the hood to begin with. Though the hoodie pockets to begin with. Oh, and now there's two choices, right? Because I cut on my friend, she told my mom there's nothing, and I cut on my mom and I told her there's nothing. There's two choices I can make to reply to her. Right? First, I can say, "Oh, it's honest mistake. Sometimes that happens to me too. It's okay to forget things and where they belong." Or I could do the due diligence and yell at my mom and say, "You're irresponsible. Why you blame me for how irresponsible that you are?" There's two choices I can make. Where I can be really, really mean and really disrespectful to the mother that raised me with her blood, sweat, and tears. Or I can tell her it's okay. It's an honest mistake. Now, what does this have to do with keeping your peace? Now, see, for example, right, as for reference, if you were to yell at your mom, will you keep your peace that way? Yeah, of course, you're going to win the argument against your mom, obviously, because you were in her rights. But does that keep your peace? She gets mad at you. She takes away your phone, and she takes away your tablet. She takes away your computer. She takes away your rights to go out the house. She grounds you. Yeah, you won the argument, but she's your mom. There's a little bit of hierarchy here. See, now, does that really keep your peace? Does it? Or you can just apologize and say, "I'm sorry, it's on a mistake. Something might happen." Just apologize and you keep your peace. See, the philosophy here is that, in most situations, not this one, obviously, because hundreds of dollars is something you just apologize to because you got to pay that back for her own mistake. Let's see for the argument that the close person I have with her mom had, right? She argued with her. The mom is blaming her daughter for a lot of things, hella stuff. Now, there's two choices the daughter can do. The first one being, let's yell back. Let's yell back. Let's just argue. Let's bring up something that she did and say she's wrong and get mad at the mother and lose your peace. But you won the argument, obviously, but you didn't keep your peace. Or you can sit there and apologize and stay quiet, absolutely quiet, and just let the fool talk. Let the fool do all the talking, all the stress that you have. Let the fool talk. Just let the mom start spewing out all the stuff that doesn't make sense at you. Now, there's two choices. You can win the argument and lose your peace, or you can lose your argument but keep your peace. The philosophy here is that you have to lose your peace to win the argument. But is the trade really worth it? Is losing your peace really worth winning an argument against a fool who will never lose? See, there's this another quote that I usually go by, is that it's hard to win in a debate against a smart person, but it's impossible to win a debate against a fool. No matter what you say to the fool, or the dumb person, as I like to call it, they still think they're right. They still think they're in the correct. Now, what does that show you? Doesn't matter if you're right or not. You're still going to be wrong in their eyes. So what's the point in trying to win the argument. The choice is obviously here that just keep your peace, man. Keep your peace, because a trade is never worth it. Now, one thing I heard so my friend actually, well, not my friend, the very close person to me, she actually sent me a recording of the argument. The father, that, it's actually a good dad. She told her to just sit there and stay quiet. Now, at first, it sounds really insulting to just tell someone to sit there and shut up. Now, let's analyze what that really means. All right. For the average person, it sounds like an insult. But to me, it sounds like he's just telling you to just sit there and just take whatever she's throwing at you. Guess what? You keep your peace. The mom will shut up way quicker that way, and the mom will have her high horses and have her high ego and walk away, while you kept your peace. You're gonna be hurt and sad in both ways, so why not keep your peace and be less sad and lose the argument? See, let's bring relationship into this, right? Let's say you and your partner are arguing. Okay. Let's, for example, me and my girlfriend are arguing. Okay. She's wrong and I'm correct. By fact, by dictionary, she's wrong and I'm correct. What is the right thing to do here? She is not willing to admit wrong because she's so delusional that she thinks she's correct. Now, what do I do in this situation? Obviously, I got to tell her that I'm sorry, it's my fault. I'm going to take the blame this time. It is my fault. I've done wrong. Now, why? Why do I admit wrong to something that I didn't do? Why do I admit wrong even though it's not my fault? The obvious choice is I want to keep my peace. I want to keep my woman. I want to keep my peace into my own time. Yeah, I can win the argument against her by debating and dying on the hill that I won, dying on the hill that I'm correct and she's wrong. I can. But the trade here is that I lose her. The trade here is that I lose her trust. I lose just her in general. I lose her feelings. I lose everything of her in trade of winning the argument. Yeah, I've won. But at what cost? The cost of losing a precious person in my life. It's really worth it. The same thing applies to you and your close family members. You have argued against them thousands of times, and every single time there's different ways that you treat it. Is it really worth losing a person or losing the way they see you over an argument? Or just be the bigger person and admit wrong, even though you're not. So you're not wrong at heart. That's all matters. To them, you admit wrong. Okay, nice. Want a cookie? Doesn't matter. What matters is that you know that you admit wrong to keep your peace. You want to keep your peace at any cost. Because once you lose your peace, anyone can get to you. Anyone can enter you once you lose your peace. Anyone can get into your heart because you lost a piece. You have to find your peace back like a puzzle. And that's a lot of work, man. I don't want to find my peace back after I lose it. That's a lot of work. Therefore, you should keep it precious because your peace is precious. Your peace is your privacy. Your peace is your alone time. Your peace is your silence, your quietness, and your peacefulness. Now, if you lose that piece, like a puzzle piece, you're going to look for it again. And that will cost more than just money and time. That will cost your personal dignity at worst. And that will cause a lot of mental stress in return of losing even more peace after the peace that you've just lost. And what's going to do? You're going to lose all your peace, and you're going to try to even find the puzzle pieces when you lose the entire puzzle. You will lose the entire image of what the puzzle is supposed to look like. That's not just some reference. That's a big deal, man. Losing who you are because of someone else's opinion or how someone else sees you. Same way how she is slowly losing herself, losing how she really is, what kind of person she really is because of her mom. Are we for real? You're getting affected by someone that's not even yourself? My mouth's getting a bit dry here. I apologize. What I don't apologize for is what I'm about to say. Just shut up and listen. It's that simple. Just shut up and listen. See, for these 15 straight minutes, or like almost 20 minutes of me talking, you could have interrupted me hundreds of times or tens of thousands of times. But you know that when you reply, no one's going to reply to you because I can't hear you. Now, why? Because you know you'd be a fool. You would be a fool if you replied. Now, why don't you just treat anyone that talks to you, well, any fool that decides to yap in your ear for no reason at all and put things out of your ass, that, ignore them. Treat them like this audio. Treat them like any podcast because they can't hear you. Whatever you say doesn't matter to them unless it benefits them or makes them right or fuels their ego. Or all three. Doesn't matter. Because to a fool, you're always wrong. So, this brings back to my question. Is it worth it? Is it really worth losing your peace to win an argument? Or it is worth it to lose your peace to win an argument? Or just lose the argument and win your peace back? Because at the end of the day, the true winner is the jester that is hidden behind the clown mask. Thank you for your time and have a great night.